You switch on and off load shedding. Energy expert Roger Lilley is joining us on the line. Mr. Lilley, good afternoon. Is this how it works? Can you just switch load shedding on and off as you please or as Parliament pleases?
Good afternoon, Dan, and to your listeners. Thank you for inviting me to your show. Yes, look, it's quite bizarre, isn't it, that load shedding can be turned on and off by Eskom in this way. The reality is, of course, that Eskom holds the switch and they are able to direct current and power into different directions at different times. One must understand that load shedding is really load rotation. In other words, one area has power while another area does not have power. The whole country is never load shedded all at once. If that were the case, then we would have a complete breakdown of the system, which we don't have.
So couldn't they just rotate for that? So for those hours, midday, and currently it was just after 1 o'clock now until 5 o'clock, and make sure that the areas that need it should get it, or it becomes impossible because the MPs are all over the place and they all need to virtually connect?
Yes, that's exactly what it is, Dan. If everybody was in one physical location, one geographical location in the country, then that's exactly what Eskom would have done. But because of this distribution by meeting virtually, it does become totally impossible.
But I mean, is it fair on consumers? I mean, that currently it's bloody cold for the last few days, and today has even got colder, and parts of the country have had no snow. So we could also say to Eskom, please, I mean, it's essential for our normal human operations. Can you just stop the load shedding?
You're right. To be truthful, Eskom would love to stop the load shedding more than anything else, because the moment there's load shedding, the meters stop turning and Eskom loses revenue from sale of electricity. So Eskom would love to stop load shedding. The problem is that Eskom's power stations simply cannot supply the amount of power that is required. I see on their website that 14,500 megawatts of generation capacity is offline due to breakdowns. So that's a quarter of the capacity, of total capacity. And the country, just can't survive on what's left. We have to have, sufficient power to run the whole country, and we're about 2,000 megawatts short. So the only way the utility can solve the problem is by limiting the amount of power it supplies, and so it keeps some people on and some people off, distributed around the country.
So as we speak, from midday until 5, the whole country is supposedly getting electricity, except, I guess, if you live in Dube, in Soweto. We saw residents there marching and protesting that they've had no power for 6 months. I'm sure there could be other areas like that. But if things were normal between now and 5 o'clock, then Eskom is supplying electricity to everybody, despite the challenges you've just mentioned, Mr. Lilley?
Yes, you see, what we must understand is that the only reason that Eskom can supply the power now from in this afternoon is the fact that the sun is shining. And Eskom's and independent power producers, solar plants and wind power plants are supplying power to Eskom. If those independent power producers were not there, then Eskom would be unable to...
But the sun was shining yesterday.
Yes. You see, you must understand that Eskom tries to conserve as much power as it can to recharge its own systems. It has a water system where it pumps water from one dam to an upper dam, so that when they need electricity, they can release that water back down from the upper dam to the lower dam, and that generates electricity. But it takes power. It takes more power to pump the water back than the water running down generates. And so they use every bit of power they've got to do that first, because that's absolutely crucial.
So Eskom has got the sunshine to thank to satisfy a favor that's been asked by Parliament in order to sit this afternoon virtually and consider the appropriation bills.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah, but it's not fair on the rest of us, or am I just being a little bit dramatic?
No, it's not fair. Load shedding is not fair, because load shedding affects people who pay for their electricity as well as those people who don't pay for their electricity. But unfortunately, when Eskom tried to cut off municipalities that are owing the utility millions and millions and millions of rands, the court said that they couldn't do that, and so they had to reconnect them. But if that was done, then the rest of us who are paying for electricity would have plenty of electricity and we would never suffer load shedding.
I know you're an energy analyst, Mr. Lilley. Before I let you go, I'm going to ask this question. Could Eskom have said no to Parliament when they asked for a favour, despite what the importance or whatever we're told is the importance of the appropriation bills? Could Eskom have said no, can't do?
Well, I think in theory they could have said no, but it's probably not very good for your career path to say no.
Yes, I think Mr. Andre de Ruyter would have had a tough one there to explain to the parliamentarians, because they say that the appropriation bills are important for so much more. Thank you very much, Roger Lilley. Well, apparently there you have it. You can switch load shedding on and off if the sun is shining.